Hey catfishing fans, this is Cat Daddy, back at you with a special episode. This time around, instead of catching, we're going to be showing you how I like to do the cooking of the particular catch that we bring home. When people think about cooking up catfish, what do they normally think of? I would say that 9 out of 10 people will typically say that they like it fried, of course, right? Deep fried. You always hear about that quintessential fish fry that folks have after a weekend out and catching their limits. You might also hear about some folks that like to pan fry as well too, maybe with a little cracker and egg yolk to get it nice and crunchy on the outsides. What I like to do is something a little bit different. This is more of a New Orleans kind of a style. What I like to make is the catfish po' boy, and I like to make it in my own particular way. You're going to see that I'm going to use the catfish on the grill. I'm going to smoke it for an extended period of time to get that nice smoky flavor in there. And what I'm going to do is also use a nice teriyaki glaze over top to really seal in that nice sweet and tangy flavor. But in addition to that, I'm going to also, of course, put it into the po' boy bun. Going to add some veggies on top of it and a little bit of a nice homemade remoulade sauce that I like to make. Add a little bit of heat to it, otherwise it wouldn't be Louisiana style. So the first thing you got to make sure that you have when you're doing this particular recipe is, of course, proper smoking chips or smoking pellets, whatever your particular setup calls for. Now, what I have, you'll see inside of our propane grill, is I actually bought these nice little tubes that will fill in with either pellets or really small chips, which in this particular case is what I'm using. I picked up a nice 5-pound bag of smoker chips. These are Scotch barrel, really good, nice robust aroma to them. Picked them up at Menards for $2.99, and we're going to see what kind of smoke it provides for us here. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Boy, is that pungent. Look at that. Look at that beautiful smoke that's continuously billowing in and up and around the catfish meat. You can see I've got it going all throughout the grill, particularly on the one side. So as I move the fish around, and I'm going to flip it here in just a little bit. I'm going to go for about 20 minutes on each side. Again, our temperature is nice and low, so we do get a nice thorough but low and slow cook through the meat. And we'll check it out here in a few. Okay, so we are a solid 20 minutes in. I went ahead and flipped over the fish basket here. As you can see, we got a nice golden brown color on the outside here of the one side of the fillet. As that smoke continues to billow, it looks like it's starting to pump back up here. It went down a little bit, so I had to increase some heat just to keep the smoke billowing and punching into the meat there to inject that nice smoky flavor. It's got a really great aroma too. I highly recommend, if you are out and you have a Menards in your area, go into their grill section. This is kind of a shameless free plug on behalf of them, but their smoking chips in the little bags are really nice. Like I said, they're about $2.99 for a 5-pound bag. And gosh, the one that I picked up was the Scotch barrel. So really good stuff. So we're going to give this another 20 or so minutes. Check it, make sure it's nice and evenly dark and smoked on both sides. And then we're going to go ahead and start with the process of putting the teriyaki glaze on it. Alright, so we've got a nice even brown on both sides here, as you can see. We've effectively smoked this catfish for a solid 40 minutes, 20 minutes on each side. Got a nice brown crispiness around the edges there. And now we're going to go to the next step, which is applying the teriyaki over top and
glazing it and letting it caramelize up here. For that, what we're going to do is we're going to put on a nice high heat, and we're going to put it inside of a cast iron skillet that's lined with some aluminum foil. You might not have a skillet, but if you do have aluminum foil, it works just as well. Okay, so we've got a nice bubbling teriyaki glaze on top here. Like I said, I put it on high heat so it will caramelize up a little faster. You can see it's starting to do that already on the edges here, and that'll give it a nice stick to the fish, especially when it cools down here. So a few remnants of the smoke that's coming up. And then you'll also see that I have my po' boy bun just slowly toasting off to the side here, catching some of that residual heat. The particular teriyaki that I swear by is the famous Dave's teriyaki marinade. Find it at your local grocery store for a couple of bucks, not too terribly expensive, but just about ready here. This has been bubbling for about 5 or so minutes. Want to give it about maybe 2 more. We'll let it rapidly cool down, so like I said, it sticks. And then we're going to go ahead and put it in the bun and see what our finished product looks like. Okay, so here we have the finished product. As you can see here, this is Cat Daddy's famous teriyaki smoked catfish po' boy. What do we have on this bad boy here? So we've got the toasted bun, of course, to start off. So you get that crunch on the top and the bottom. We've got the catfish that's been smoked for 40 minutes, 20 on each side. It was marinated with some of that lemon juice and bottled water mix. We also have the teriyaki glaze on top of it. Got it nice and caramelized on here, so it ain't going anywhere. And then on the other side, true to po' boy fashion, if you know the history of the po' boy, it's about workers that didn't have a lot of money, and the restaurants wanted to help support them, so they would throw together whatever they could find in the kitchen, put it into a sandwich, thus the name po' boy came up. So true to that name, I went ahead and found what I had in the fridge as far as vegetables. I have tomato on here, some romaine lettuce, and then I don't know if you can see there's a little bit of remoulade, which is really just a homemade mixture of some seasonings, mayonnaise, and Frank's Red Hot. So hopefully I don't get in any violation of copyright infringement or anything here for naming all the different name brands, but this is the final product. I cannot wait to sink my teeth into it. I even have a couple of dogs that are stalking me right now. And as along with any good southern recipe, always pairs best, in my opinion, with a nice tall glass of sweet tea. Of course, I've got my Ohio State logo here because that is my alma mater, and well, it's my channel, so we're in Ohio, go Bucks. Thanks so much for joining in this special episode. I hope you picked up something, and as always, keep it real, like and subscribe. See you on the water next time.